My name is Janet Eremenko, and I am the provincial politician, the MLA for Calgary Currie, which is just off the west end of downtown in Calgary, Alberta. You could work 23 and a half hours a day being a full-time politician, but my family would not be very pleased with that. So I have two teenage daughters. I have a husband. I have older parents who, I like to spend some time with and care for. I have, a home and hobbies and all kinds of other things. And so I think the challenge is really the balancing act of trying to be there for my constituents of Calgary Currie, to make sure that when I come up to the legislature, I'm prepared and informed on the issues and on particular bills that might be introduced. And then, of course, I have an office to run back in Calgary too. So, I think it is a real juggling act, as many jobs are, as many lives are. I just do it a little bit more publicly than others. A morning coffee is very important. I would say I am attached to my phone because, of course, it's really critical for work, and then I can also just stay in touch with my family and stuff, especially when I'm up here in Edmonton. I'm kind of a simple person. I don't have a lot of great needs. I don't have a lot of products and stuff. I would say a comfortable pair of shoes and some fresh air go a really long way. So I think that's probably another challenge of politics, is when it comes to hobbies and pastimes, you don't get to do many of them. I think many people here would say that their hobby is just working more, but it's really important to tune out and to try and just put the devices down and do some other things. So, before politics, I really loved to knit. I've spent a lot of time in the mountains. I don't get out nearly as much as I like to hike and cross-country ski, but I do still try to get out as much as I can. And so I think really anything outside, anything in nature, where I can move my body a little bit and just go for a nice long walk is really important. Another hobby. I've really gotten into audiobooks. I find I don't always have a lot of time to actually pick up a book and read, but if I can listen to a kind of a frivolous nonfiction, fictional book while I do other things, it's kind of nice to pass the time. WhatsApp, for sure, is my most frequent, in part because it's just kind of like email when it comes to office work. We use that a lot for communications, and there's a lot of chats in WhatsApp. That is an impossible question. One of my hobbies is cooking. I used to cook a lot, and I love when I can, between my trips back and forth to Edmonton, if I can take a Sunday afternoon and just make a really nice meal for my family. I enjoy it so much and really appreciate that time, just slowing down and doing something a little bit slower. So saying my favorite food would be impossible. I love Mexican food, all things Mexican food. I make a really killer lasagna. That's just totally self-serving. Maybe my lasagna. We took the first international holiday with my family for the very first time this year. I don't need to go far, so long as there's water. So I am very happy to go to Vancouver Island, where I have some family. For the last couple of years, my family and I and another family did a multi-day canoe trip in northern Saskatchewan. The freshwater lakes there are incredible. So long as we can go for a bit of a swim, that's the most important part, so long as there's water. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a marine biologist. So again, there's the water. I would be very happy to just play around in the water all day and investigate. But I never really pursued sciences. So my degree is in international development in politics and public administration. So for a long time, I thought I would work internationally. And then once I got my degree, I realized that I had learned a lot of things that are actually really applicable here at home in Canada. So though I wonder if there's still room to work internationally after my time as a politician, I think I probably would have looked at doing very much what I was doing before coming into politics, which is working in the nonprofit sector. But I think the time probably would have come where I started to look at international NGOs to do work around capacity building, foreign aid, anything around that I think would still be along the same lines as a politician, around service and around social justice, humanitarian work. Pay attention in school would probably be it. I don't think I always took school particularly seriously. And so I think my message there would be take advantage of that time to just immerse yourself in what becomes a rarer opportunity as you get older, which is just to focus only on learning. I was always a pretty curious kid, and thankfully that got me into all kinds of good trouble. But I think to actually have paid attention and really seized upon the opportunity to learn, because those opportunities don't come along very often afterwards.